I got a report earlier today about what went down at Michigan football practice on Tuesday. I'm going to tell you about the injury update that I was able to glean. There could be a third stringer starting for Michigan's offense coming up on Saturday against Minnesota. So make sure you watch the entire Michigan football report today. Don't be clicking off this video. Don't go somewhere else, and you will have the latest info on this football team as they are 4-0. Headed into the second Big Ten game of the year. Guys, I am on Twitter. I've been crushing Jack. I've got like 9 million Twitter impressions in the last week. I've had some bangers pop off. So if you guys want me to follow you, go ahead and give me a follow. It's at James Yoder. Now, if you've already followed in the past and I don't follow you now, I have 10 people, either first 10 followers or first followers, 10 followers who DM me and say, yo, give me a follow back, James, whatever it does, the combination of the two, whatever it is, 10 people are going to follow from me on Twitter /X. At James Yoder. So get going right now. It is the Michigan Football Report. We got a lot to talk about. Let's go. As always, here in the Michigan Football Report, I am your host, James Yoder from Chat Sports. Jack, I've got a new look, right? Outside of at-home videos, I always have my hair done, what's left of my hair done, prim and proper. But we are rocking hats today, Jack. I've got the all-black Chat Sports hat. It's swag day at the company. We just got a bunch of gear, including these black Chat Sports hats. Jack's got the black and white one on there. There's little rumors out there, Jack, that we might be making Michigan Football Report hats just like this that we'll give out to people when we start doing some live shows when the CFP rankings come out. $50 super check, get your hat, something like that. We'll see. So keep an eye on there. So that's what a little different look here today on the show. Let's talk about tight ends. Colston Loveland missed the game against USC. An underreported storyline coming out of that game that we didn't touch on because it didn't seem super serious because only for a few plays. Marlin Klein got injured on one of the last plays of the game. He caught that pass, and he's either injured on that play or maybe came in for one more. It's a little unclear, but I think it was on the pass he caught to make it 3rd and 1. Next play, Kalel Mullings went off for 63 yards. From yesterday's practice, right? Although Sherrone Moore said on Monday night that he expected Colston Loveland to give it a go in practice, both Klein and Loveland were incredibly limited, if practiced at all. So certainly, they were there. Were they, just walking around, maybe getting a couple of snaps? They were not taking snaps with the ones, though. And that means that it's looking likely, to me at least, that Michigan could be on their 3rd string tight end. With a quarterback like Alex Orji, I think is something that Michigan needs to worry about, because when you are a quarterback that, can't light it up downfield or, isn't super confident where he's going with the ball, like Alex Orji clearly is this point, throwing for 32 yards in his first start against USC. The tight end is your safety valve, is your, blanket. You look at where's the tight end, boom, I'm going to hit him. Colston Loveland, the best in America. Marlin Klein, has played very well in his first start and even prior to that. For Michigan. So who is next man up? If nothing changes over the next 3 days, right? We hope to have a Wednesday practice report sometime on Thursday. We'll see if any of this changes. But if neither of those guys, Loveland or Klein, are playing, backups are Hogan Hansen, who caught a touchdown a couple games ago against Arkansas State, and then Zack Marshall, the redshirt freshman out of California, 13 snaps against USC, and he was actually on the field for that last play for the touchdown, right? Some people are trying to slow down some footage of the game-winning touchdown and say, oh, man, 83, he was holding, etc. I don't believe that at all. But those are the two guys. I don't know who can get. Right? Marshall got the snaps at the end. Hansen was in the prior game, got the touchdown. So we'll see if it's redshirt freshman Zack Marshall or if it is Hogan Hansen, the true freshman 4-star, who gets the start at tight end for Michigan. Knowing that potentially the top 2 tight ends are out, I want to have you guys tell us here at the Michigan Football Report, Jack, myself, will Alex Orji have more or less than 60 passing yards in this game? Only had 32 in his first start on Saturday. This is typically the time of the ad, Jack, that you get the video that you get a YouTube ad break. So if you get hit with a YouTube ad right now, go down, answer more or less. Maybe the time you scroll up, ad will be done, and we'll continue on with the Michigan Football Report. I don't know, Jack. I'm probably going less at this point. I don't see anything out of Orji that makes me think of more. The only thing that maybe would change is that Michigan is more creative in the screen and the drag route, the kind of passing game. And maybe it's with one of these two players here, with Hogan Hansen, highly rated recruit, right? 4-star guy, one of the top 10, 12 tight ends in America. Some Michigan recruit nicks, people who follow it closer, maybe even Michigan coaching staff, if I recall, have compared Hansen to Colston Loveland himself. Now, a little lesser rated recruit is Zack Marshall. Seemed to get more snaps, right, in his second season at Michigan down the stretch against USC when it could have certainly been Hansen himself. If I'm putting my money on it right now, I'll probably just say Zack Marshall because he is a year older, because he got snaps in the fourth quarter against USC, and he was on the field there for Michigan's game-winning touchdown. But we shall see. I'm most concerned, like I mentioned a minute ago, how this will impact Alex Orji, right? Is he going to have as much confidence in Zack Marshall or Hogan Hansen, who already threw a touchdown pass to, remember, a couple games ago, as he would, starting a second game with Marlin Klein. So if Klein's out of the game, obviously we know what Colston Loveland brings to the table. It could really impact what the comfortability and even what this team wants to do on offense. You see there, injuries are piling up for Kirk Campbell. And at least on the offensive side from this tight end position, Sherrone Moore overall. Defensive side, still don't have a real word on Will Johnson, but you've got two of your best three players on this team who certainly could not play in this game coming up against Minnesota on Saturday, right? 12 o'clock Eastern. Big Noon Kickoff. I think Big Noon's doing themselves a disservice by having not a big-time game. I don't think Michigan, Minnesota is anywhere near the top 5 or 10 games of the week in college football, but I do have a few things I want to tell you guys when that is a quick word from our sponsor. Jack, I got some new clothes recently, right? And I put on one of the outfits a couple nights ago, and I walk over with my wife. She's watching TV. I'm like, hey, what do you think of this pants? What do you think of this shirts? She's like, ooh, that's so nice. That's so soft. I start getting touched all over the place, and that is because of our new clothing sponsor here at the Michigan Football Report, and it is Public Rec. Let's be real, guys. Wearing pants sucks. Who decided that stiff, uncomfortable fabric digging into your family jewels was necessary to go out and look put together? Well, I'm here to tell you that those days are finally over. Public Rec has developed a revolutionary Daymaker pant that feels as comfortable as sweats but looks and fits like tailored pants. They're super stretchy and made with an elastic waistband, but you can wear them absolutely anywhere. Wear them lounging around the house, eating Cheetos, or with football Sundays with the boys. You can even wear them on a first date, and no one will know you're even wearing sweats. You can finally have the indoor comfort with outdoor style by wearing Public Rec's Daymaker pants. For a limited time only, our viewers get 20% off their entire order when you use code CHAT at publicrec.com. That's code CHAT at publicrec.com. Link and promo code are down in the description of today's Michigan Football Report. Now, look, see this bad boy? I've got a Public Rec shirt on. They don't just make pants. I've got the go-to long sleeve. Look, it looks like a nice shirt. It's super stretchy. It's amazing. Jack, we got you a couple of those go-to hoodies. They've also got polos and long sleeve Henleys. Public Rec is amazing. Lily, I said to my wife, I go, I think it's about time I upgraded my wardrobe. We're going to use the promo code CHAT here, get 20% off. She's like, I'm just going to buy you a bunch of these pants for Christmas. They are amazing. The shirts are amazing. The hoodies, the long sleeves. I am absolutely in love with Public Rec. You guys need to stop the suffering in regular pants. For a limited time, our viewers get 20% off again when you use code CHAT at checkout. That's 20% off with code CHAT at publicrec.com. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support the show and tell them that the Michigan Football Report sent you. Say goodbye to pants that put up a fight, because when comfort meets style, you found Public Rec. Link is down in the comments and the description of today's Michigan Football Report. Love me some Public Rec. But look, thinking about these injuries, I think Michigan's probably going to make the right choice if they're just limiting Colston Loveland. If they think, hey, Marlin Klein, you could potentially play, but hey, that hamstring will be a little tight. We don't want to re-injure or do anything where you're out against Washington, you're out and injured, and you're lingering as injuries lingering past the bye week here in a couple weeks. So we saw it last year, especially with Will Johnson. I missed the first couple games and was limited in the third game. Is the Michigan staff, right? It's really just Sherrone Moore is for the most part from last year, but obviously Kirk Campbell too. But they have been more cautious than anything when it comes to injured players early in the year. So if I'm guessing right now, I don't think either tight end plays, but hopefully we'll know more by tomorrow, and we'll see what happens with Will Johnson. Hoping to have a report on him for our Thursday show. But Kirk Campbell, right? I think this is going to put another wrinkle into what we see out of him from an offensive coordinator position, and I think there's some eyes on him, right? A lot of fans, right? Some of the media. There's some questioning on what he's doing from a play calling perspective. Nothing really seems to be that innovative. Maybe you said one reverse to receiver was the only innovative play I saw against USC. Why don't we get the two running backs on the field at the same time? It's only happened for maybe a handful of plays, if that. I'm not even sure if I can remember more than 3 times all year that Donovan Edwards and Khalil Mullings have been on the field together. And If they're not going to be on the field together, you got to tell me why. Because I think it's become clear after 4 games that Mullings is the guy who's best to be your every down back. Donovan Edwards can still play a lot of reps, but he needs to be getting out of the backfield a little bit more, right? Catching more swing passes like they did early on in the game. Lining up in the slot. Every time I think I've seen him line up in the slot this year for Edwards, he motions back into the backfield, and I don't know really what that's accomplishing. It's kind of like when they were bringing Alex Orji before he was a starter. You knew he was going to get the snap and just take off running to the right or the left. That's what kind of seems like when they do with Donovan Edwards, anything other than just line up in the backfield. So I like to see both guys in the field, right? Some people said last year that Edwards' best position on this team could be as a slot wide receiver. I'm not saying that's what they should do with him, but he's caught passes downfield plenty of times. In 2021 as a true freshman. In 2022, he caught him downfield against Hawaii and others. We're not seeing that this year so far, and I want to know why. So my eye in this game is if you're missing Colston Loveland again, what is Kirk Campbell going to do to tailor an offense to the limitations and strengths of Alex Orji? He's got to be able to pass the ball a little bit. But certainly Michigan is going to need to do things differently if they're going to be Oregon in 5 weeks, 6 weeks from now. They're going to have any chance against Ohio State, make the college football playoff, and do anything coming off of that national championship season. Knowing that Kaleb Mullings is likely to be the starting running back, I want to put the number at 80 yards, which might seem high, right? But it's kind of been in line with what Michigan's had from your 2 running backs each game so far this year outside of Texas. 80 yards, I'm putting as the over-under. So comment over or under on Donovan Edwards. I'm going to take a little tally poll, just get the vibe of what Michigan football fans think. Donovan Edwards, 80 yards over-under coming up against Minnesota. Talk about this guy a little bit on Tuesday's show. Brandyn Hillman, right, emerging. And Wink Martindale had a press conference, and other media members certainly might think so as well because there were several questions asked about Brandyn Hillman, the sophomore free safety who's getting seeing improvements and getting more and more playing time. Wink Martindale, for the most part, B. Hill is just going to keep getting better and better. I like this one. He's like a heat-seeking missile. Compares him to Brian Dawkins, the all-pro safety with the Philadelphia Eagles. Right, comparing to Brian Dawkins, I'll have to look back and see if Martindale ever coached Dawkins, but certainly coached against him, saw what he brought to the table as a opposing defensive coordinator. He continued. The way he attacks the football and attacks going after the football when somebody's going after it and everything else, and I think like this one, he's going to be fun to watch here the next couple of years. So Brandyn Hillman, we'll see what he has on the field. I've got some stats here that you guys are going to like on Hillman and on Makari Paige, but I did want to let you guys know that if you have not subscribed to the Michigan Football Report, now is the time. We're getting to the heart of this season, right? October is right around the corner. This is the last of 5 straight home games. Then you go on the road next to Washington. You're not going to want to miss because we've got the best track record of telling you who's going to play, what's going to happen in these games, injuries, etc. Way better than the blog boys, way better than any of the pay sites. So subscribe to the channel. Send that link, youtube.com/MichiganTV, to your friends as well. Everybody, tell one person, right? Tell one person to subscribe to the channel, and we will continue to grow and bring you great content all season long. So, all right, Hillman has a couple tackles this year, but he was all over the place. He was around the football. When you're thinking about a linebacker, a safety, right, you always want to think about is a guy who can go all over the field. Like they're playing in the middle. Are they chasing down tackles left? Are they chasing down tackles right? Are they making plays when there's the ball thrown through the passing game from the opposing team? So just take a glance here, right, with Hillman, right? He's been emerging, right? He's been emerging. Now, Wink Martindale is getting asked questions about him. 16 snaps on defense, 1 tackle in the opener against Fresno State. Didn't see any snaps on defense against Texas. We all know why that was the case, right? Michigan really wasn't doing anything. They weren't subbing anybody in and out outside of corners for a couple of times. But got 2 snaps on special teams. Arkansas State, big jump forward, right? He had a tackle and then 27 snaps. Now, didn't have any tackles, but 37 snaps against USC. They were throwing the ball a lot, so clearly he is in the top 5 or 6 rotation, regardless of position, cornerback, nickel, free safety, strong safety. And I am saying that just keep an eye out, right? Makari Paige is in his 5th year. We pointed out those 2 plays. He whiffed on the sack when he was blitzing. That led to a 40-plus yard gain, got USC some points in the first half. Then he just completely made a bad decision or just made a bad play at the end of the game in the USC go-ahead touchdown in the 4th quarter that he could have either rocked the receiver or knocked the ball down. Paige, 76.3 Pro Football Focus grade 2 games ago against Arkansas State, drops to 44.7, where Hillman is right there with him, 71.8 against Arkansas State, dropped to 66.4, but remarkably 20 points better at the same position than Paige. They were on the field a ton together, but We remember a couple years ago, right? RJ Moten, who transferred to Florida, and I haven't even kept up with what he did. I think he started last year. I don't know if he's still there or not. I'll have to look that up. But Paige was the same position, right? Getting 20 and 30 snaps the first 4, 5, 6 games of the 2022 season with his classmate, right? They were in the same recruiting class together. And then by the 7th game or so, it was Paige's job, and then Moten was coming back in the position. Moten ended up transferring. Don't be surprised, right? I'm hoping it doesn't happen. I hope Makari Paige has an excellent season, just absolutely tears it up, is an All-American, All-Conference player, whatever it is. But I have seen a lot of good things out of Hillman from a backup position that I would not be surprised after the bye week, maybe in 2 or 3 weeks from now, who knows, that Brandyn Hillman doesn't ultimately steal Makari Paige's job like Paige stole from RJ Moten in the 2022 season midway through. So just keep your eye out. Really interested to see how he plays in this game coming up on Saturday against Minnesota. Reminder, follow me on Twitter. I'll follow back the next 10 people, or if you already follow me, DM me. 10 people are getting followed by me before tomorrow's show. You just got to get active. It's at James Yoder. For my fellow hat boy, Jack Ray, Public Rec, we will see you guys on Thursday. Go Blue.